All right, guys, so we're starting chapter 8 today. We're going to be graphing systems of equations in the directions say solve each system by graphing. What that means by solving is we want to find the intersection. So what we're going to have to do today, guys, is get our equations in y equals mx plus b form. Then we're going to graph them. We're going to plot quite a few points. We're going to sketch our lines and see the point where they intersect. So we're going to start number 1. We have 2x minus y equals 8, x plus y equals 1. I can't graph those in standard form like they are. I need to get them into y equals mx plus b form. Sorry. So I'm going to have to solve them both for y. I'm going to start with 2x minus y equals 8. So I'm going to solve that for y. The first thing I need to do is move my x's. So I subtract 2x from both sides. When I do that, I get negative y equals negative 2x plus 8. Now that's not solved for y because it's still negative, so I'm going to divide everything by negative 1. And when I do that, I get y equals 2x minus 8. Now we can use that. We need to get the slope out of it. So I have m equals 2, but I'm going to write 2 over 1. And b is negative 8, so that's the point 0, negative 8. So what we can do is go over to our graph, and we can plot those. So first I need 0, negative 8. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to draw the y-intercept. And then the slope is 2 over 1. It's positive, so I'm going to go up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. But I'm going to do this multiple times. Up 2, right 1. Up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. Once you have those in there, we can sketch our line. Our line needs to be as straight as possible. That's why we're using lots of different points. So we've got one equation done. Let's move to the other. Now I've got x plus y equals 1. The first thing I have to do is move my x to the other side, so I'm going to subtract it. Now I have y equals negative x plus 1. So now we've got it. Well, the m in this one is negative 1, so it's negative 1 over 1. Our b is 1, so our y-intercept is going to be 0.01. So we come over here to our graph, plot 0.01. Since it's a negative 1 over 1, we're going to go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, and down 1, right 1 from there. We can do a couple more. Once we get that, we can sketch in our line. And what we want to look for, guys, is where the intersection is. So if I look at my graph here, it looks like the lines cross at this point right here. That's over 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2. So the solution to our equations is 3, negative 2. That's our solution. And what that means is we could plug that point into both equations and it will work. Now it says right below this we need to check, so let's plug this into our equations. If I did the first one, I have 2 times 3 minus negative 2 equals 8. 2 times 3 is 6. A minus times negative 2 is plus 2 equals 8. And you get 8 equals 8. So that does work on the other one. Now we've got to try x plus y. So 3 plus negative 2 equals 1. Well, 3 plus negative 2 does equal 1. So our answers are correct. So guys, you got to be careful when you solve for y. You got to be careful with your graphing. Do multiple points, and you should get your answer. All right, let's go to the next one. Same thing. First, we have to solve them for y. So I've got 2x plus y equals 2. And again, the first thing I'm going to do is subtract 2x from both sides. So I get y equals negative 2x plus 2. Now that's in y equals form, so we're good. It looks like the slope is negative 2, so I'm going to write negative 2 over 1. Our b is 2, so that makes our point 0, 2. I'm going to go over and start graphing that. I'm going to plot a point at 0, 2 first. And this time, since it's negative 2 over 1, I'm going to go down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1. I'm going to do that multiple times. Once I've got quite a few points, I'm going to connect them together. So there's our first graph. I think I can do that better. Okay. Now let's go over and do our other one. I have x minus y equals 4. First thing I do is subtract x from both sides. You get negative y equals negative x plus 4. But my y is negative, so I divide each piece by negative 1. So I get y equals x minus 4. So it looks like our slope is 1, so I'm going to put 1 over 1. Our b is negative 4, so the point 0, negative 4. Let's plot those points. Let me change colors here. So let's see, over 0 down negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, about right there. And since it's positive 1 over 1 for our slope, we're going to go up 1, right 1. Up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, so on. Then when we sketch our lines, it's pretty easy to see the intersection. So I'm going to circle that intersection. Looks like it's over 2, down 2. So our solution, I'm going to write it right here. Our solution is 2, negative 2. Okay? Now we need to check those, and I would check them. It should make it easy. Let's see, I have 2 times 2 plus negative 2 should equal 2. Well, 2 times 2 is 4 minus 2 equals 2, and 2 equals 2, so we're good. Now let's try the other one. Let's see, it's x minus y, so 2 minus negative 2 should equal 4. Well, negative times a negative is a positive, so I have 2 plus 2 equals 4, and 4 does equal 4. So since they both work, that is our solution. So guys, be careful again when you're graphing. It's the most important part. Let's go to the next one. All right, guys, so on the back page, same thing we did on the last couple. We got to solve them each for y. I'm going to start with the x minus 3y equals 6. So to solve this one again, move my x's. I'm going to subtract them. And I get negative 3y equals negative x plus 6. But I have to get y by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides, or everything, by negative 3. And I get y equals, it's negative x over negative 3, so that's really 1/3 x. And I have 6 divided by negative 3 gives me minus 2. So I've got my slope is 1/3, and my b is the point 0, negative 2. Okay? Now let's move over to the other one. I have x minus 3y equals negative 3. And this looks really similar to our first one. Let's do the same thing. Subtract x from both sides. Let's see, that gives me negative 3y equals negative x minus 3. I divide everything by negative 3. And I get y equals, again, it's negative x over 3, so 1/3 x. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is plus 1. So I got a slope of 1/3. And I got a b at 1, so 0, 1. Now let's plot those. I'm going to do our first one in red. I'm going to plot the point 0, negative 2. And our slope's 1/3, so up 1, right 3. Up 1, right 3. Up 1, right 3. Now we may need some on the other side of that. If we were going up 1, right 3, we're going to go down 1, left 3. Down 1, left 3. Let's sketch in our line. I'm going to change colors for you. I'm going to do this next one in blue. Plot the point 0, 1 right here. And then it's the same thing. It's over 1, up 1, right 3. Up 1, right 3. Up 1, right 3. I'm going to do some on the other side. Right, left 3, down 1. Left 3, down 1. I'm going to connect those points together. Now, if we look at these guys, we can probably tell what kind of lines they are just by their slopes. But it looks like to me they may be parallel. So I look at the slopes, they are equal. So these lines are parallel. I'm going to write that right here. So parallel. And if lines are parallel, will they ever intersect? Well, no, they won't. So that means we're not going to have any solution. So my answer to this one is no solution. All right, next I'm going to put they never intersect. Okay. All right, so if you ever see any that have parallel slopes, you do still need to plot them and graph them, but you should know once you see that there's no solution, okay? All right, guys, let's do one more. We've got 2x minus y equals 1 and 6x minus 3y equals 3. So let's start with 2x minus y equals 1. 2x minus y equals 1. So again, just like we've done in every one of them, let's move our x's first. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. I'm left with negative y on the left, and on the right I have negative 2x plus 1. But y is still negative, so I'm going to divide every piece by negative 1. So now I have y equals 2x minus 1. So we've got a slope of 2 over 1, and we've got our b's negative 1, so 0, negative 1. All right. Let's look at the other one. I'm going to go ahead and change colors real quick. I've got 6x minus 3y equals 3. So same thing as we've done every time. Subtract your x's from both sides. So now I have negative 3y equals negative 6x plus 3. But again, I have to fix my y. This time there's a negative 3 in front of it, so I divide everything by negative 3. That leaves me y equals negative 6 divided by negative 3 is 2, so 2x. Positive 3 divided by negative 3 is minus 1. So I have a slope of 2 over 1. My b is negative 1, so it's 0.0, negative 1. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and plot my first one. Let's see what happens. I'm going to go over 0 down negative 1 for my first one. My slope is 2 over 1, so up 2, right 1. Up 2, right 1. Up 2, right 1. If I need to go the other direction, instead of up 2, right 1, I'll go down 2, left 1. And I've got my points. Now let's look at the other one. They have the same y-intercept at 0, negative 1, so I'm going to put a point there. And the slope is 2 over 1 as well, so up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. And it looks like I'm getting the exact same points on this one as I did on the last one. What that means is that these two are the same line. And since they're the same line, any solution will work. So I'm going to put infinitely many. So if you ever solve it down to y equals and your equations are the same, you have infinitely many lines. So guys, the main thing on this is plotting things correctly. Be careful when you're solving for y. It's the same process every time. I hope that helps.